Welcome to the Art Lady channel. Today I'm going to be making a vegetable soup, and I have a bunch of fresh ingredients here that I just took out of my refrigerator. So whatever I could find in there. I'm going to be using potatoes, and I have 4 small potatoes here. And I'm going to use a pepper. And I do have this vegetable mix here, and I'm going to use a cup of this. This is a soup mix that has lentils, split peas, little bits of pasta. So it's a vegetable soup, and it's just the ingredients. Let me read it to you here. What's in this is split peas, both yellow and green, some lentils, barley, vegetable pasta, spinach powder, tomato powder, paprika powder. So basically it's a few little split peas with some lentils and some pasta. So that's what's in the soup mix, and I'm going to use a cup of this. If you don't have something like this, you can just use a cup of lentils. That'll work. This is both green and yellow lentils. This does have a little bit of pasta in it as well. But if you don't have, like I said, if you don't have this particular brand of soup mix, just use some lentils. And then I have some celery here, 4 carrots. I'm going to use the onion. I took probably a little bit less than half of a cabbage, and I'm going to shred that up fine. And then I have some tomatoes here that if I don't use them up within a few days, they're going to go bad. So I'm going to put the 4 tomatoes in. So it's going to be a very hearty vegetable base soup, and it's going to be for my week work for lunch. I'm using some flavors: garlic, onion powder, coriander, which I absolutely love coriander, and then I'm going to throw in some parsley. So that's basically what's going into this soup. Now, what I'm going to go ahead and do is cut up all this fine, and then I'm going to put it into the Ninja Foodi. Into the pot, I'm putting my lentil mixture. And I just finished rinsing them quickly. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put in my 4 cups of water. Right here. And I'm going to turn the pot on to sear saute. Because I want this to heat up first before I start my pressure cooking. That way it's a little bit faster. And this can be heating while I'm preparing the rest of the vegetables. So I'm going to go ahead and select sear saute and then hit start. And that's going to start heating my pot and my water. I've got some lentils up the side here. And then while this is being chopped up, this is heating. So then when I put everything in, I'll be able to pressure cook it faster. A little bit faster time. So that saves me a bit. Now I'm going to go ahead and put in a package of the Italian sausage on the top. And this is optional. You don't have to have that. I'm going to give a quick stir first to this though. I have everything in. And the only thing I didn't put in was the other half of the pepper and 1 more potato. So I'm going to lay in my seasoning actually. I'm going to put my seasoning in now. And you can put your favorite seasonings in, or you can follow what I'm doing. For this, I'm doing a tablespoon of coriander. Oh, I love coriander. And I'm going to do a tablespoon of parsley. Big heaping tablespoon of this. And then I'm going to do some garlic powder. Now I used about half of the clove of the garlic here. And I'm going to do some onion powder. And I'm going to start it off with probably a teaspoon, maybe 2 teaspoons of onion powder. And then I'm going to do a teaspoon of the garlic powder. Because we like it pretty flavorful. And I will write if you click on the caption, if you click on the title, you'll pull up information about the video. And you'll have the ingredients right there. All my ingredients I'm using today. So that's where you'll find it. By just clicking on the title, you'll see ingredient lists pop up. And I'm going to lay the sausage, give this a stir first, my seasonings. I want them to infuse through everything. And then I'm going to lay my sausage on top. I'll show you how I do that right now. So this is everything in the Instapot. And I'm going to just place the sausage in here. And my max level for pressure cooking max is about right here. Let's see, I'll show you on the pot. It's about right here. So I am probably an inch, almost close to 2 inches below that. Probably an inch and a half below that. So I'm going to lay my Italian sausage on the top. Get my I want it in the liquid a little. So I'm just pushing it down in here. And then I'll brown them after this is all cooked. And then cut them up. But I want them just in here cooking like that. Some of them are, I can break the skin if I want, and then the flavor is going to come through. The juice is going to come into my soup. So now I'm going to put the pressure lid on. And I'm going to turn it. Now, I always check to make sure that there's nothing clogging this. Okay, because this is important. And you don't want anything clogging this area. So check to make sure all my vents are here. Now I'm going to put this on secure. And then I'm going to check in here. And nothing is clogging that. My silicone is in place. And now I'm going to place it so that it locks. Let's see if my screen might be in the way. Yeah, let me move this over. And then I'm going to set my vent to seal. And now I'm going to turn it on. Now I'm going to go ahead and set it for pressure. Pressure cook. I want it on high. And I'm going to set it for 15. Right here. And I'm going to start it. Now because it was already preheated and everything was to a nice boil while I was cutting up my vegetables, it's going to bring to pressure. It's going to go to pressure a little bit faster. So that'll save me time because all the food doesn't have to heat up. And it's already creating some steam from the being boiled. So just by closing it, this is going to be faster. After it reached its 15-minute cook time, I let it rest and naturally release pressure for 15 minutes. Now I'm going to go ahead and open it up. You can hear it releasing the pressure. And when I open this up, I place it to release it a little bit faster. I kind of rest it up here a little bit higher. If you just slide it, it's not going to release it as fast. So I just lift this up a little and rest it. That's so it all comes up. As soon as that red button goes down, I know it's ready. Now it just released the pressure. And I tested my sausage and it's reached its mature level. Now you have a choice. You can leave it like this and just break it up. Or what I'm going to do is just pull the sausage out. And I'm going to air fry them a little bit just to crisp them up. And then I'm going to slice them and put them in here. But they're fully cooked now. And actually my internal temperature when I read it was over 170 degrees and 160 sausage. So it's cooked fully. Let me make sure I didn't miss any of them. I'm going to give that a stir. And then I thought I had 6, but maybe I didn't. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to air fry them just to crisp them up a little bit. So I'm just going to set my rack in here, like so, just on the top. And then I'm going to place them around my outer edge. I've noticed that the fryer tends to not crisp as well in the center. So if you have any, you know, if you have just a few sausage you're doing like I'm doing, don't block your center. And now I'm going to close it up and I'm going to just crisp them for 5 minutes on air fry. And I'm just going to hit the crisp. I'm at 190 and I'm going to set the timer for 8 minutes, and at 5 I'm going to check them. So air crisp and start. Because sometimes you can rotate them. Just turn them. And that was after about 7 minutes. It just crisped them up and browned them beautifully. About 3 minutes into the cooking, I flipped them to the other side, and now they're cooked perfect. Now you have 2 options. You can eat them, you know, on a bun separately, or you can cut them up and put them into your soup, or you can separate them, serve the soup, and then put the sausage on top with sprinkled cheese or whatnot. You know, cheese and raw onion, or however you want to serve this. And I am cutting it up into little pieces, and I'm going to go ahead and toss it to the whole soup. Just like so. And into the pot, I'm adding a package of cream cheese. And you can even add the 1/3 less. The one I'm using now is the 1/3 less cream cheese. 1/3 less fat. Or whole fat, that's up to you. But I'm adding that in, and I'm going to stir it around, and that'll give it a little creamy, a creamy base to it. And this is optional, but I like it with the sausage added in. And this is a pretty big pot. Like I said, we are right under the line. And this is still steaming hot, so it melts instantly, that cream cheese. And like I said, if you use the 1/3 less fat, it's a little bit thinner than the whole fat cream cheese. And this is going to give it a tang. And with that coriander, it's really going to taste delicious. And I've seen this done with mayonnaise instead too, but I like the cream cheese. And here. And then you can serve it with oyster crackers, bread. And it is a very thick, you can see how thick it is right now. It's really a thick stew. That's how I like my stew, real thick. Beautiful. And I'm going to go ahead and pot it up, or serve it up rather, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. And there you have your delicious, creamy sausage soup. Bon appetit!